You are listening to Cool FM, live from Cool Studios. This is Cool News at Noon.
Good afternoon and welcome to Cool News at Noon. Live from the remote location, I'm Cairo. Let's get into the headlines. Some area in Calabarzon and Metro Manila suspended classes are shifted to modular or online learning on Tuesday, August 20, due to volcanic smoke from TAW. On Sunday, the Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council of Talisay in Batangas announced an increased presence of volcanic smoke or fog in the area. This is due to the ongoing degassing activity of the volcano, it said in a Facebook post. Below is the list of areas that suspended classes are shifted to modular learning, both public and private. So here are the following locations that are shifting to modular or online distance, and in some locations suspended classes. So here are the following. Batangas for the sub-locations are Santos, Malvar, Lipa City, Lipa City, Laurel, Iban, Galate, Tonunan, Santos Tomas, San Luis. For Cavite, all locations have suspended classes. Alfonso, Amandao, Silang, Kawit, Rosario, Indang, Barangondon, Canza, Vendes, General Marino Alvarez, Nike, Noveleta, General Emaro Aguinaldo, Magallanes, Ternate, Terce Martires, Cavite City, Emus, Das Marinas, General Trias, Bacoor, Cavite, and Carmona. For Metro Manila, it's the University of Santos, which will shift to online business learning or remote work, Mapua City, and Adamson University, both of which will shift to online business learning. Earlier, the Department of Education DepEd authorized schools in Calabarzon, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Quezon, and Metro Manila that are affected by fog to suspend in-person classes, even without an official announcement from the respective local government units. The DepEd issued the directive on Monday through an advisory following TAW's release of fog over the past 24 hours. To ensure learning continuity in affected areas, DepEd instructs schools to employ alternative delivery modalities such as modular or online learning, the agency said. According to DepEd, the decision turned to the respective schools. No wonder authorities could not find dismiss Bambang Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo, who has as illegal Philippine offshore gaming operators vocal activities. Senator Contiveros disclosed on Monday that Guo had already left the country for Kuala Lumpur on July 18th using her Philippine passport. I am now in receipt of information that in this fact, this person was already out of the country on July 18, 2024 to Kuala Lumpur. She entered Malaysia 12-17-13 of July 18, she said in a manifesto during the Senate plenary session. It cannot be denied that this is her because it matches her Philippine passport, Contiveros added, presenting an image of a document of Guo's supposed entry to Malaysia and the latter's Philippine passport. The Bureau of Immigration on Monday evening confirmed that Guo might have left the Philippines illegally without passing through the required checks of Philippine immigration authorities. We have received intelligence information from our counterparts abroad that Guo illegally left for Malaysia then flew to Singapore, Immigration Commissioner Norman Tansinko said in a statement, citing very reliable sources. Guo reportedly flew to Singapore with Sheila Leal Guo and Wesley Leal Guo on July 21. Tansinko clarified that while Guo was listed in the Immigration Lookout Bulletin Order issued by the Department of Justice, her supposed departure was not recorded in the Bureau system and centralized database. So far, we have not received any turnover or reports related to Guo from other agencies, including those manning our maritime borders, the TVH Group said. Tansinko also disclosed that Catherine Cassandra Leong, one of Google's business associates and the named representative of the rated Coco Hub, Lucky Star 99 in Porac, Pampanga, departed the Philippines as early as June 11 before the elbow was issued against them on August 6. He added that on Sunday the group was traveling to Indonesia. The immigration chief emphasized that canceling Go's Philippine travel documents could expedite her extradition to the Philippines. Corroborating the BI's information, spokesperson Winston Casio of the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, quoting foreign counterparts' immigration records, said that Guo arrived in Kuala Lumpur from Denpasar, Indonesia on July 18. She then arrived in Singapore from Malaysia on July 21 and reached Batam, Indonesia from Singapore by ferry on August 18, Casio said in a message to reporters. Earlier, Hontiveros, citing information from her resources, said that after going to Malaysia, Guo, also known as Chinese national Guo Huaping, went to Singapore to meet her father, Guo Xian Zihong, mother Lin Guanyin, brother Wesley Guo, and all. Mr. President, who allowed this trespassing to happen? Who is responsible for this? She asked, stressing that Guo would not been able to leave the country without the help of certain government officials. I have always believed that legislative hearings are policy driven. That's why when the president announced a ban on POGOs, I said we have done our jobs. Let law enforcement take the lead, she said. Hontiveros was referring to President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s order to ban all POGOs during his State of the Nation address last month, directing the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation POGOR to return their operations by the end of the year. But what if the law enforcement itself needs to be investigated? What if they drop the ball? What if they are the ones that should be held responsible? She asked. She criticized the BI, which promised that it would not let Guo slip out of the country. But then she's already gone, lamented Hontiveros. Mr. President, if we don't do anything about this as in this institution, as a country, it's like we have been allowed to be slapped by this foreigner who has repeatedly violated our laws, policies, and processes, she stressed. The DOJ early on Monday insisted that Guo was still in the country, saying there were no reports from the BI indicating any attempt by Guo to leave. In fact, she filed a motion for her case in the DOJ last Friday, to which she attached a counter-affidavit sworn before a Philippine notary public on August 14. Assistant Justice Secretary Jose Dominic Calamano told reporters in a public message. Hontiveros said there was no closed-circuit television CCTV footage of Guo's exit. Her image was not captured by CCTV, so she passed or she could have been led to a spot where her video image would not be captured, she said. Senator Grace Poe urged aviation authorities to check the records for Guo's supposed departure. Senator Rafi Tulfo said Guo could have used a private plane. If you're a passenger who wants to go abroad on a charter plane, you will not go through the process. You will not go through immigration. You will go straight to the gate in a limousine or SUV sport utility vehicle. And when you arrive at the tarmac, you will board your plane, and then here comes the customs, immigration, and quarantine officials. But if they are at least rules of compliance, it will be easy to get through because there is no CCTV where you are passing through, he said. I am very sure that she or Guo left on a charter plane through a private plane. So all we need to do is ask if we can trace the private plane or charter plane that left that very day, he added. Tufo earlier pushed for establishment of a processing center for passengers of chartered and private planes flights, pointing out that these VIPs as well as their luggage do not undergo the regular screening process. He said these flights were being abused by wealthy criminals, fugitives, and blacklisted individuals who come in and out of the country. And the government on Monday said 2 Philippine Coast Guard ships were damaged in collisions with Chinese vessels that were engaging in unlawful and aggressive maneuvers near Escoda Sabina Shoal, setting off a new flashpoint between Manila and Beijing. PCG ships BRP Bagagay, MRRP 410, and BRP Cape and Gado, MRRP 411 were en route to resupply outposts upon attack. Fly and Lawak Nashan Islands before dawn on Monday when they were met by China Coast Guard vessels whose maneuvers resulted in collisions causing structural damage to both ships, according to a statement by the National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea read by National Security Council Assistance Director General Jonathan Malaya in a video form. China claims the submerged reef, which it calls Jiao, although it is only 139 kilometers or 75 nautical miles from the coast of Palawan, well within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. Our vessel suffered severe damage. BRB Pagagay sustained a 3-foot hole on its luxury room and another 1-foot dent on its starboard right side quarter, he said over the government television program Bagong Pilipinas Ngayon. BRP Cafe and Gano, on the other hand, sustained a 1.1-meter hole on its starboard side and a 40-centimeter damage to the engine exhaust, also on the starboard charter, Malaya added. Filipino crew were unharmed from the encounter and proceeded with their mission of delivering essential supplies to Coastal Station on Panatan and Lawag Islands. The Philippines has unoccupied outposts in the Spratly Islands in the West Philippine Sea. It is now 12:11 in the afternoon and coolness at noon. We'll be right back, right here in my remote location. to Koolnews at noon. Senator Ruben Padilla has sought a Senate inquiry into reported cases of rape and sexual assault within the Communist Party of the Philippines New People's Army. In Senate Resolution number 1162 filed Monday, Padilla specifically tasked the Senate Committee on Public Information and Mass Media, which he heads, to conduct a probe aimed at amending the anti-rape law of 1997. Public information aids people in making healthier and more enhanced decisions, the Senator said in the resolution. Conducting an information campaign about the realities inside organizations like the CPP and BA can play an important role in discouraging students and the youth from joining rebel groups, he added. Padilla cited in the resolution some cases of former female communist rebels who testified in the Senate hearing about the alleged rape and abuses within the CDB and BA. One of them was Lady Desiree Merienda, a former chairperson of Anak Bayan Central Luzon, who alleged that she was raped by her commander in 2016, molested by her squad sister in 2017, and sexually assaulted by a comrade in 2018. Another former rebel, Kashane, accused her former NPA commander and platoon leader of raping her when she was a combatant at 15 years old. She filed a case against her former squad leader and the platoon vice commander, who said she abused her in 2016 when she was with the Caraballo guerrilla front in Nueva Ecija. The resolution also mentioned a former cadre named Ryan Jane Ramos, who allegedly in a briefing in 2022 that she personally met with some women who became victims of sexual abuse by their male comrades and commanders. Incidentally, Padilla's filing of the resolution came after his controversial remarks about consensual sex between married partners. For example, of course, you cannot remove this belief among married partners, especially for us, me, that you have sexual rights to your partner. So, for example, you can't choose the time when you eat. So, what if your husband doesn't want to? Wouldn't there be any way to satisfy the husband? What will happen? Should we just resort to adultery? That is another case. Padilla said during the hearing of his committee last week. The senator already apologized for those who were offended by his remarks. The Ramon Anglet New Naya, or known as Ninoy Aquino International Airport Infrastructure Corporation, is all set to take over the maintenance and operations of the country's primary gateway next month, identifying terminal reassignment of airlines and construction of an off-ramp linking the Naya Expressway or Naya X to the airport as priority plans to improve passenger experience. The San Miguel Corporation Chief Executive said in a media briefing in his headquarters in Cosig that they were looking into implementing new terminal assignments for local and foreign airlines before November 1, over a month after the scheduled takeover of the consortium on September 14. Ang said this would improve the efficiency of runway use, allowing the airport to accommodate more flights. Under the concession agreement with the government, the Tycoons Consortium is tasked with increasing the number of aircraft movements or takeoffs and landings per hour from 45 flights to 48 flights. No specific terminal assignments have been set yet. After the initial implementation, Ang said they would elevate if further changes would be needed. At Naya Terminal 1 is exclusively for international flights, while Terminals 2 and 4 are for domestic operations. Terminal 3 accommodates both local and international flights. Meanwhile, Ang shared that an off-ramp connecting Naya X to Naya Terminal 3 is expected to be completed next year to improve the flow of traffic going in and out of the airport. The project is estimated to cost 3 billion pesos to 5 billion pesos. The permit to proceed with project had already been secured from the toll regulatory board, Ang said. Authorities like water lines and electricals are now being relocated to pave the way for the construction. Following NNIC's takeover of Naya, Ang said they would focus first on repairing the elevators, escalators, toilets, and air conditioning units. The San Miguel-led group also intends to place some check-in counters and upgrade the baggage handling system to improve travel experience. You will experience a better airport, he vowed. The group also plans to build a new passenger terminal building with an annual capacity of 35 million passengers. It will rise at the site of the Philippine Village Hotel, an abandoned hotel owned by Manila International Airport Authority in Pasay City. Meanwhile, Ang clarified that imminent airport fee hike was in line with the terms of reference set by the government during the bidding process and not based on their own numbers. He explained the additional cost was estimated by the government and its consultants for the Naya Rehabilitation Project. Last month, Transportation Secretary Winnie Bautista said that terminal fees would increase from around 500 pesos to 550 pesos at present to 950 pesos next year. Bautista said the hike was needed to compensate NNIC for its upcoming investments in the 170.6 billion peso airport upgrade project. Consumer groups have been voicing out their concerns about the price hike as this can make plane tickets pricier as well. NNIC won the Naya Rehab contract in February. Apart from SMC, its members are RLW Aviation Development Incorporated, RMM Asian Logistics Incorporated, and South Korean airport operator TGON International Airport Corporation. The Philippines dollar position returned to a surplus in July after the Bangko Sentral na Pilipinas made a killing with its investments abroad, putting the 7-month tally close to the central bank's projection for 2024. PSP data released on Monday showed the country's balance of payments BOP position was at a surplus of $62 million in July, a reversal from the $53 million deficit a year ago. This was also a turnaround from the $155 million BOP gap posted in June. The July windfall gave the Philippines a year-to-date dollar surplus of $1.5 billion, bringing the cumulative figure closer to the BSP's projection of a $1.6 billion BOP surplus for the entire 2024. The BOP summarizes and economics transactions with the rest of the world during a certain period. A BOP surplus arises when more foreign funds enter the economy against those that leave, which may increase the country's dollar resources that can be used to pay foreign debts and meet import requirements. A deficit means the reverse happened. In a statement, the BSP said the July windfall was mainly due to dollar inflows from its net income from investments abroad and the national government's net foreign currency deposits with the central bank. Meanwhile, the 7-month BOP surplus was due to smaller dollar outflows from a narrowing trade deficit and continued net inflows from the major dollar engines like remittance, foreign direct investments, and trade-in services like BPO earnings. The windfall was also due to foreign borrowings by the government and flows of foreign portfolio investments or hot money in the country's bond and equities markets. And the Philippines and the United States have reached an agreement allowing a limited number of Afghan nationals to transit to Manila. According to the Department of Foreign Affairs, this pact would enable Afghan nationals to complete their visa processing for special immigrant visas and resettlement to the U.S. The U.S. government is supporting necessary services for those Afghans temporarily in the Philippines, including food, housing, security, medical, and transportation to complete visa processing, the DFA said in a statement Tuesday. The DFA shared no other details except that the agreement is undergoing final domestic procedures at present. Inquirer.net has asked the DFA regarding the number of Afghans that the country would host as well as their expected arrival in the Philippines, but the agency has yet to respond as of Earlier, Justice Undersecretary Raul Vasquez said the government is open to the idea of the Philippines serving as a processing area of Afghan nationals displaced by their homeland's conflict before they are resettled in the U.S. This, despite the conflicting concerns raised by the country's security agencies about possible threats in the Philippines, accepts the U.S. proposal to bring Afghans who fought against the Taliban. And now let's get into the headlines from around the world. Kamala Harris said Democrats will be forever grateful to U.S. President Joe Biden as she met a surprise appearance Monday at the start of a party convention in Chicago that will crown her as the new presidential nominee. Thousands of delegates gave the vice president a rapturous reception ahead of what is expected to be a bittersweet farewell address by the 81-year-old Biden following his decision to quit the 2024 White House race. I want to kick us off by celebrating our incredible President Joe Biden, said Harris to cheers from the crowd as she took the stage. Joe, thank you for your historic leadership for your lifetime of service to our nation. We are forever grateful to you. In the space of a few breathtaking weeks, America's first female black and South Asian vice president has turned down the presidential race upside down, breathing new life into the Democratic Party and wiping out Republican rival Donald Trump's lead in the polls. She will give her keynote speech at the culmination of the convention on Thursday. Later Monday, Biden will be facing the party that pushed him out of the race over concerns about his age, but is getting a hero's welcome as Democrats thank him for stepping aside for Harris. Biden insisted that he was at peace with his decision, despite reports that he is still angry at being forced out. Yeah. Biden told reporters when asked if he was ready to pass the torch to Harris, as he did a sound check at the convention center. Morocco's King Hamad VI has pardoned more than 4,800 farmers accused of illegally growing cannabis, the Justice Secretary said Monday. The monarch has kindly granted pardon to 4,831 people convicted, prosecuted, or wanted in cases like linked to the cultivation of cannabis, the ministry said in a statement. The announcement was made ahead of the national holiday on Tuesday. And Russia on Monday ruled out any peace talks with Ukraine despite Kiev raising pressure on the Kremlin by claiming fresh offenses in its offensive into Russian territory. Ukraine sent troops and tanks over the border on August 6 in a surprise incursion 2.5 years after Russia launched its invasion and says it makes new gains virtually each day. In a speech to ambassadors, Zelensky urged partner countries to allow the use of long-range weapons during the Russia and to help Russia's advance in eastern Ukraine. Ukraine is separated from halting the advance of the Russian army on the front by only one decision we await from our partners, the decision on long-range capabilities, Zelensky said. Delayed gives support for Russia's offensive in the eastern Donetsk region, he said. The incursion into Kursk would not have been necessary if Ukraine could use more powerful weapons to protect citizens in border areas, he added. And that is it for koolNews at noon. As always, you can get in touch with us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. And join us again for more latest news headlines later with koolNews at 4, koolNews at 6, and koolNews Prime Time at 9. Until then, I'm Cairo. Good afternoon.